Hi everyone, for tonight's Nightcap and review, I'm having an adult beverage, and tonight I'll be reviewing A Game of Veils by Eva Chase. This is a book I received as an ARC, but of course I'm going to give my honest opinion. These are the tropes, and these are the content warnings. There were no content warnings listed in the book. These are things I came across as I read the book. Of course I could have missed some, but those are what I noticed, and I just want to make you aware of what, if you choose to read this book, what you'll come across. Now my rating for this book is going to be a 3.75. So what's this book about? So this book is about a second-born princess by the name of Aurelia who is being sent to the capital to marry the son of the emperor who conquered not just her kingdom but other kingdoms as well and currently reside under his brutal regime. She hopes by marrying the son of the emperor she can start to influence him and bring about some kind of peace and relief to not just her kingdom but all the kingdoms. But when she arrives, instead of the wedding she was expecting, she is now to participate in a contest of trials to prove her worth as a bride. Her fellow contestants are the daughters of the nobles who protested the marriage to a far-off Wild Kingdom's princess. So now their daughters are to participate in this contest of trials that has deadly consequences for those who lose. And as if surviving these trials wasn't going to be hard enough in a court full of hostile nobles, she also has the foreign foster princes who seem to be directing all of their rage towards her as they see her as a traitor who has come to bow and simper at the feet of the emperor and could potentially take resources away from their kingdom in favor of hers. So as if surviving these trials wasn't going to be hard enough, she now needs to convince these princes that she is better off as an ally rather than an enemy, because if she's able to marry the emperor's son, she hopes to bring peace to not just her kingdom, but their kingdoms as well. But as she works to change their minds, she starts to realize, and they start to realize, there might be something more there than just allyship. So what are my thoughts on this book? Again, I'm giving it a 3.75. There were a lot of things I did enjoy. I thought the plot was interesting. I thought the magic system was really cool and something I hadn't really seen before, as well as I enjoyed the trials that the women were put through, mostly because this is where Aurelia, our female main character, was really able to shine. Here you got to see her strength, her determination, her brains, and her compassion. I was cheering her on, hoping for her to win through each trial, but just like her, when she won, I struggled because I knew that meant someone else lost, and that meant something deadly was about to happen. Now, I will say halfway through the book, I started to see some Easter eggs that kind of gave me an idea of how this book was going to end, but it did end with a little twist I was still a little bit surprised by, as well as this does end on a cliffhanger as it is a start to a series, so keep that in mind if you choose to read this. Now, where this book fell a little short for me was that this is a why choose romance with 3 of the foster princes being her love interest. And I did like them when they were on page, they were interesting, and when they were interacting with Aurelia, I believed in their chemistry. But when they went off page, I kind of forgot about them. And that might be due to the fact that these are more like prisoners that are allowed to roam the castle. They have very little say or power or control over anything, so they can't even really help her when she's going through these trials. And a large portion of this book is focused on her and these trials. So they can't help her interact in those scenes in a way where I remembered them. But that took away from the feeling of this being a why choose book and more of a princess trying to survive deadly trials to save herself and her kingdom. And that's not a bad thing. That's just not what I was expecting when I chose to read this book. Now, I will say, based on how this book ends, the trials being over and what it setting up for the next book, I anticipate them to be in the thick of things with all the plots and schemes. So with their interactions, that book will probably be higher rated than this one is. Now, just because I didn't give this a 4 or higher doesn't mean this wasn't a good book. I did enjoy it. It just didn't quite meet what I was expecting from it, if you know what I mean. Now, I strongly encourage you to give this book a try for yourselves. This could be your next 5-star read, and I love that for you. Now, it will be available September 10th, so soon. Give it a read and give it a download. I, again, plan to read the next book, and I think it will be amazing. So I hope everyone has a good night and happy readings.